Hello, friends. I'd like to invite you to join me, as usual, at the back of your mat. Seated in Sukhasana, easy seat, or Lotus, Padmasana. Finding your space today, this morning, for this practice. Finding our breath. Beginning today with a Kundalini alternate nostril breathing. Rooting down, seating squarely into the earth. With one hand guiding your breathing. Place your fingers over the bridge of your nose and closing your lips, starting with the left side. Close off your right nostril and breathing in through the left side through a count of 4. In through 4. Hold for 4. Exhale on the right side for 4. Inhale immediately on the right for 4. Close. Hold for 4. Exhale on the left for 4. Inhale immediately on the left for 4. Close both sides. Hold for 4. Exhale on the right for 4. Inhale immediately for 4 on the right. Close and hold for 4. Exhale for 4 on the left. Come to Lotus if it's available to you. I'm going to be working into a lion's breath, rocking forward. Gain momentum if you need it. And moving forward, rocking up onto the knees, tongue out for a lion's breath, and one more time, chest out, lion's breath, exhale, come back to seated, and let's unwind, feet forward, and let's come back into downward facing dog, hips to the sky, heels towards the ground as we find our dog, maybe bending your knees, flexing into your feet, shaking out your neck here as we draw the shoulder blades in towards one another, flexing one knee towards your chest and then the other. Finding a little bend in your knees if you need to lengthen out your back. And drawing the inner arms in towards one another. Let's release those elbows down towards your mat, coming into dolphin pose. Bringing the forearms down to the mat. Feeling that stretch between the shoulder blades. Continue to breathe, trying to really reach those heels down, feel the stretch all down through the backs of your legs, your hams, your quads. Breathe and exhale. Let's press back up into downward facing dog. Shake out the neck, continue to move and bend here in our first dog of the day. Out the palms, stretching into the hands, working through the wrists. And then step or lunge to the front of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. Nice gentle neck. And release your arms to your side. Reverse swan dive. Roll up gently. Arms up overhead. Release your arms down to your side. Give yourself a little wiggle. Let's stretch out that side body on the right, leaving your arms glued to your side, pressing your left foot down into the ground. And now stretching out the left side body, pressing your right foot down into the ground. Let's release those arms up overhead, catching your wrists as you go up overhead. On the right side, stretching the right side body, opening up. Maybe gazing into the armpit on the right side. Releasing your catch over onto the left side now. Bringing your gaze into your left armpit. Opening up the left side body. Pressing your foot down into the ground. Breathe and release. Bending deeply at the knees. Sweep your arms up overhead. Chair pose, fierce pose. Careful not to let your knees pass your ankles. Release it, forward fold. Come up into a half forward fold, broadening at the collarbone. Press your hands down into the ground, step back into plank. Lower halfway or all the way down to the ground. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Let's take a breath here. And inhale, bring your knee into your chest. And exhale, press your heel back. Push it into the imaginary wall behind you, keeping your hip level. Bring your knee into your chest. Let's press that back again. And one more time, knee into your chest. Press it back into that imaginary wall. And now open up to the side for a three-legged dog. Let's hold that for a count of 1, 2, 3. There you go. Knee to chest, leg to the sky. Let's press it back to downward facing dog. Breathe for a breath or two here and complete your vinyasa. Step it through. Inhale, half forward fold, chair pose. And forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Plant those hands and step back to plank. Lower halfway or all the way to the ground. Inhale for up dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. And let's repeat that on the left side. Inhale, lift your leg to the sky. Nice and level. Bring your knee to your chest. 2, one more time for 3, press it back and open up, and let's hold that for this three-legged dog on the left side for 1, 2, one more, you got it, 3, release the leg back to the sky, into your chest and back into our dog. Whew, take a breath. Good work. And let's move through our vinyasa. Step it through. Bending deeply at the knees through fierce pose. This time, let's clasp those arms behind our back. Deeply at the knees, sweeping those arms through up overhead. Forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Plant the hands. step back to plank. This time, let's do 3 yogi push-ups here. 1, 2, one more, you got it. 3, great job, girls. And go ahead to your up dog or all the way to the floor for cobra. And press back to downward facing dog. This time we're going to inhale that leg on the right side. Lift it up, step it through for warrior 1 on the right hand side. Arms up overhead, leg is strong. Let's bring the arms through, straightening out that bat leg, straightening out the arms overhead to thunderbolt. Strong and breathing through, straightening out the front leg, opening up to the side mat for triangle pose. Strong leg as we extend, opening up our side body, keeping the chest open, reaching for that foot as we find it for a yogic toe lock. Breathing and keeping the chest open, reaching for the sky. Find the mat or the floor, bending into the knee, extending forward, finding half moon pose on the right hand side, flexing that back foot, stepping back through downward facing dog. Taking a breath or 2 here. Finish through your vinyasa. And we'll repeat that on the left-hand side. Step back. Inhale, leg lifts, and let's step it through for warrior on the left-hand side. Inhale, knee bend, strong back leg. Let's straighten it out, coming into thunderbolt now on the left-hand side. Arms are strong and straight, extending straight out of the shoulder sockets, strong back leg. And now opening up to the side mat, straightening out the front leg, coming into triangle pose on the left side. Extending over the side, finding the yogic toe lock, keeping the chest wide and open, not collapsing into the side body, holding the side open, breathing here before finding the floor. And bending at that front knee, lifting off for half moon pose on the left hand side, flexing that back foot, leveling off. Releasing back down to the mat for downward facing dog. Inhale, step through to the front of the mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Through fierce pose to Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead, forward fold. And sit back on your mat. Find a nice balance pose as we come up into boat pose. You can hug your knees into your chest to find your balance pose on the back of your hips, keeping your back as flat as possible. We're going to hold hold our boat for a count of 5. You want to hold your legs right behind your knees, right above your knees, actually, right behind your thighs. Keeping your gaze as high as possible, hollowing out your lower belly. You can row for a count of 10. Remember to breathe. Here is important. You can double over a blanket for support on your low back. Bring your knees in to your chest. Grab those toes for a yogic toe lock, opening into a wide-legged hold. Push your core out to hold this here. Finally, coming into a bound angle pose. Bringing the palms of the feet together. Imagine the hips moving away from each other in space. Begin to fold forward. It's okay to round the back here. And bring your chest forward over your feet. Taking your time. As you feel your muscles release and let go. Continue to lower yourself to the floor. Release yourself back up to seated. Hug your knees into your chest. And let's release ourselves back over onto our bellies and come into locust pose. Or swimmer's pose. And tightening up your core. You're zipping a zipper. Let's pull our arms behind us. Reaching until you can find your legs, your shins, your ankles. Flex your feet. And let's see if we can rock like a boat. We find our bow. If you are able, you may use a strap or a towel here to wrap around your feet or find your ankles to hold on. Use a strong back, a strong leg, a strong arm here. You can use a strap also to help you work on flipping your grip like I'm doing here. Let's release and come back over onto our backs for supported shoulder and bridge. Binding your hands, let your feet find the floor. Bringing your knees up. Your elbows scoot towards each other, moving your shoulder blades towards each other under your back as you scoot them down. Press the floor away with your hands, pressing the back of your head into the mat as well. See if you can't lift the very top of your back off of the floor. We are not trying to thrust our hips towards the sky, but lift our chest rather. You can release your hips back down, rest them on your hands, and repeat and lift up to 3 times. And when you're ready, release everything back down to the ground. Releasing your feet to the sky, finding the outside of your feet for happy baby pose. Pressing again the back of your head and the small of your back as flat as possible into the mat. Rocking gently back and forth. like to extend the hips more, you could move through half pigeon or thread the needle, bringing one foot on top of the other knee. Bringing the foot edge just to the outside of the leg. Again, imagine the knee and the hip moving away in space. Hold until you feel the muscles release. Switch sides. Continue to breathe as you stretch. Pulling your chin towards your chest. We don't want to strain the neck. Or you can imagine pressing the back of your head into the mat. And imagine your hip, not your knee, moving away from each other in space. And when the muscles release, lower everything back down to the mat. You can remain in dolphin pose, the forearms down, or you can play kicking up, or come all the way up into pincha, feather pose. You can play in headstand prep, or you can come all the way up into headstand. You can play in dolphin, walking the feet in and walking the feet out, pulling the lower belly in as you walk the feet in and walk the feet out. You can work from dolphin to downward facing dog, or from plank to forearm plank with knee touch in between. Coming now to seated forward fold all together. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale with the legs glued together at the seams. Feet flexed. Fold forward, bringing the chest towards the thighs. Breathe deeply. Inhale, come up. And bringing your right leg out to a seated tree pose. Release yourself along the inside of your left leg. Coming into compass prep, the left side. Find a yogic toe lock. And pressing into the floor. Lift off on the left-hand side. Release yourself back down from there and switch sides. Coming into compass prep on the right side. Find your yogic toe lock. And once your muscles release in the stretch, press off against the ground using your lever. Come into compass on the right side. Release your stretch. Press up into up plank. Breathe deeply, pressing your chest. Shine your heart to the sky. One more breath. Exhale, release back down to the mat. Inhale, bring your right knee up to your chest. Let's twist over to the left-hand side. Release. Inhale your left knee in and twist over to the right side. Let's release that back down. Inhale, bring your knees up. Let your feet come all the way up over. Release your toes overhead for plow. Supporting your back, bring your toes all the way up overhead for shoulder stand. Releasing, supporting your low back into fish pose. Coming up onto the crown of your head. Tuck your chin, release your low back. All the way down, releasing into corpse. To your final resting, Shavasana. Coming to a final still.